Alright, world history kids, welcome to week 35. There's only 36, 37, 30. There's only 3 weeks left. Maybe 4 weeks. I don't know. It's not like time matters anymore. 1, 2, 3. No, there's only 3 weeks left after this. So 2 weeks of regular stuff and then the finals week. Alright, so we are entering into the modern era proper here. This week I call Dead Empires and New States. Essentially, this covers the topic of the collapse of the old empires post-World War II, keeping in mind that for the victorious nations like Britain and France, it doesn't happen all at once. It happens over time, over decades, in fact. And this is going to cover the end of the Cold War. So you got 4 things: lecture with notes, some vocabulary, a research project, which normally is a big group poster project that you guys would do, it's like 3 or 4 people, but obviously I had to kind of revamp it for this one, and you've got 1 video to watch and video lessons. So let's get through it. Okay, your lecture notes here, guys. Based on this, you will notice there are only 6 slides. There's one introductory one that just kind of covers the general fact of independence movements that break out from the 1960s all the way through the 90s with the collapse of the Civil War, And then the next 5 go by regions. So we have the Indian subcontinent, we have Southeast Asia, we have Africa, we have the Middle East, and lastly we have Central Asia. I did have to cut the Central Asia one short because I literally ran up to the 15-minute time limit. So just make sure you guys actually read through it. Central Asia is one of those places where Americans especially basically never think about, except maybe to remember that Afghanistan's that one place where we sort of, I guess, won a war, kind of. But Central Asia has a fascinating history because Central Asia, especially places like Afghanistan or Transoxania, have all been these crossroads of trade from the East and the West and the Old World for millennia. So there's a lot of good history there. So try to take at least 3 notes on each slide. So that's 18 notes total, guys. And of course, there's a lecture video right here to go along with it. We then have some vocab for you guys to do. So this is based on the reading. I have contacted Ms. New. She said she's looking into figuring out why there's a missing PDF section. If she can, try and scan it back in. So if it's not there, guys, don't stress. Just try to do as much of it you can online. Okay, just as much of it as you can. Fix a spelling error there. I had it spelled here correctly, but not here. So just as much as you can, try to do it online. Keep in mind, guys, I'm not going to grade you super seriously on the vocab, especially because what I really want you guys to do is this thing. So this project, Building New States, normally is a big poster project that you would do as a group. Instead, this is what it's going to be. There's no presentations, obviously. But basic directions, guys. You will research and produce a digital information poster. For you guys, you're just going to do it down here. Don't worry about it. On one of the examples below, using electronic sources. You're going to do this in 3 steps. Choose one of these countries. So I give you a huge list, and these all come from these various countries that I mentioned in the lecture. Using your online sources, and yes, start with Wikipedia and then move out from there. Find information on each of the sections for the country of your choice. Normally, this would be like first come, first serve per group, and each country can only be done by 1 group. Obviously, you guys do whatever you want. If you want to choose one with a friend of yours and you guys can kind of collab and help each other, that's fine. This was meant to be a group project originally anyway. So, for each section, this is my changed version, guys. Give me 3 facts, okay? So first, put the name of your country here, and then in the boxes, give me 3 facts. I would suggest something like bullet points, okay? Include them in the 3 facts for independence, how the country gained it, specify was it violent or nonviolent, what kind of government has it had post-independence. Make sure you include the current government, because in a lot of these, they have changed over the decades. What kind of society do they have? What are the major religions? Ethnic groups? Is there conflict historical? Or do they still have conflict issues to this day? What industries do they have? How does their economy run? Has it been a successful or failed economy? Do they suffer from poverty or income inequality, And lastly, what kind of future struggles are they probably going to face? This one is going to be a little extrapolation, but you should be able to find work on it somewhere for most of these countries, because a lot of them are facing things like economic problems or societal problems, or for a number of these, climate change, especially in India and Southeast Asia. Climate change is a big issue for a lot of these countries. And lastly, you have video lessons. Your video this week is the second part of the Cold War Oversimplified. I stopped it here because I love this shot of America and the USSR, Soviet Union, holding stockpiles of nukes, staring at each other, and you see the rest of the world in between them, including all these European countries who are sitting here going, oh God, not again, worried about World War III. So it is a longer video. It's about 15 minutes minus the sponsor ads. So try to take 15 notes, guys. That's about 1 note per minute. I know it says right on a piece of line here, blah, blah. Obviously, you should ignore that. All right. So that is it for this. Please remember, guys, my office hours are now much more extensive. You can see them in the announcements that floats up and about that says office hours updated. All right, guys, that is it for this week. Please remember, World History, you're going to be getting updated for these last 3 weeks that follow this one. 1, 2, 3, yep. 3 weeks that follow this one. Well, actually, there's only two more weeks of updates now that I say that. You're only going to have 2 more weeks with assignments, and then finals week will be your last chance to turn stuff in. So please remember, the next 2 weeks, stuff will be posted on Thursday. And, of course, due date is whenever you get it done, guys. You can always, of course, email me if you have a question and don't want to wait, or contact me via the open office hours on Google Meets. All right, guys, I will see you next week.